A new phase for load shedding. Over the past 2 years, Eskom South Africa's state-owned power utility has shifted from a period of frequent rolling blackouts, load shedding, to one where significant improvements in generation performance and system stability have substantially reduced the need for load shedding. For 2026, Eskom's messaging reflects cautious optimism. National load shedding is not expected as long as operational performance holds, but challenges remain in specific areas that could require targeted interventions. Before we continue, please kindly subscribe, like and comment your opinion. 1. Eskom's Summer 2025-26 Outlook, covering into 2026. Key official forecast. In September 2025, Eskom published its summer outlook for the period September 1st, 2025 to March 31st, 2026, which extends into the early weeks of 2026. The utility forecast no national load shedding during this period. This was a major departure from previous years, when summer load shedding was common due to high temperatures and peak demand. Eskom attributed this improved forecast to several factors within its control. Generation capacity recovery. As units return to service after maintenance and repairs, more megawatts are available to meet demand. Reduced unplanned outages. Fewer sudden breakdowns increase reliability. Higher energy availability factor. This means a greater percentage of Eskom's total capacity is actually online and operating. Improved maintenance planning. Eskom intensified planned maintenance to reduce unexpected outages during peak periods. Lower reliance on costly emergency generation. Diesel-fired backup units are used less often, indicating a healthier generation fleet. In its Outlook document, Eskom specifically stated that if unplanned outages stayed within manageable levels, South Africa would not require load shedding over the summer and early 2026. 2. System performance. Record days without rolling blackouts. Throughout late 2025 and into 2026, Eskom regularly highlighted milestones showing prolonged periods without significant load shedding. Over 200 consecutive days without interrupted power supply was achieved by early January 2026, indicating strong system performance. Some reports noted 231 days without any power cuts early in 2026, a major improvement compared with the frequent outages of prior years. Earlier in 2025, Eskom reported no load shedding for extended stretches, with only limited interruptions recorded in April and May of that year. These performance milestones were emphasized by Eskom as evidence that its generation recovery plan was delivering results, and that the utility was steadily moving toward being able to meet national electricity demand more reliably. 3. What no load shedding actually means in 2026. While Eskom's official outlook for 2026 focuses on no planned national load shedding, it also clarifies that A. Load shedding versus load reduction. Eskom distinguishes between full system rolling blackouts, load shedding, and load reduction, which is a more targeted approach. Load shedding is the deliberate, scheduled cutting of power to large areas to balance demand and supply nationwide. Load reduction refers to temporary, localized shutdowns in specific areas to protect infrastructure, often due to unauthorized connections, vandalism, or overloaded local networks. In its communications, Eskom has stated that while national load shedding is not forecast, load reduction may still occur in particular high-risk zones to protect equipment and safety. This distinction is important. Load reduction is usually shorter and localized, compared with rolling outages that affect wide regions. 4. Misinformation and clarifications. In early January 2026, Eskom had to publicly debunk circulating fake warnings claiming a return of Stage 6 load shedding or extended outages. The utility emphasized that these claims were false and not based on Eskom's forecasts or operational plans. It reiterated that the grid remained stable and that no such severe load shedding was planned. Eskom's clear response to misinformation reflects its effort to keep the public focused on official data and outlooks, recognizing that false reports can create needless concern. 5. Achievements and structural improvements. Eskom has repeatedly pointed to specific improvements that support its optimistic load shedding outlook for 2026. A. Generation Recovery Plan success. The ongoing Generation Recovery Plan, initiated in 2023, has restored significant capacity to the system. The return of generation units, combined with better maintenance discipline, has reduced reliance on costly and less efficient backup generation. B. Reduced unplanned outages. Unplanned outages, historically one of the biggest drivers of load shedding, have declined due to better planning and execution. This allows Eskom to maintain higher available capacity. C. Improved fleet performance metrics. Key operational indicators like the Energy Availability Factor, EAF, show that Eskom's plants are operating more consistently, feeding more electricity into the grid when needed. These technical improvements have made the utility more confident about its ability to meet demand throughout 2026, especially during peak afternoon and evening hours. 6. Challenges underlying the positive outlook. Despite the favorable forecasts, Eskom's messaging acknowledges that risks still exist and cautious monitoring continues. A. Unplanned outages still matter. Even though outages have decreased, unexpected breakdowns still occur. Eskom's future load shedding risk depends heavily on keeping unplanned outages under control. If they spike unexpectedly, Eskom could be forced to consider rolling blackouts as a last resort, a scenario the utility would prefer to avoid. B. Local infrastructure issues. Eskom has noted that theft, illegal connections, and vandalism in the distribution network remain challenges. These issues can necessitate load reduction and contribute to disruptions at the local level. The utility is actively working to reduce and eventually eliminate such occurrences. C. Long-term outlook. While 2020 SX's short-term forecast is optimistic, separate analyses by energy experts suggest that future risks may increase later in the decade, especially if generation flexibility doesn't improve and new capacity isn't added in time. Eskom itself focuses its official outlook on operational performance, not long-term policy forecasts, but the broader context remains that South Africa's energy transition will require continued investment and planning. 7. Government and Eskom on public expectations. Eskom has tried to balance public optimism with realistic expectations. The utility encourages responsible energy use even when load shedding is not expected. This reduces peak demand pressure and helps maintain grid stability. Eskom and government officials remind citizens that power supply improvements are an ongoing process, not a one-time fix. Public messaging emphasizes official channels for updates, to avoid confusion from rumors or unofficial sources. By clarifying these points, Eskom aims to manage expectations while celebrating tangible progress. Conclusion: Eskom's 2026 load shedding message. In summary, Eskom's official statements regarding load shedding in 2026 can be distilled into the following core points. No national load shedding is forecast for the 2025-26 outlook period extending into 2026, based on improved generation capacity and system stability. The power grid has recorded long streaks without load shedding, reflecting tangible performance gains. Eskom continues to improve operational reliability through its generation recovery plan and better maintenance practices. Localized load reduction may still be used where necessary to protect infrastructure, but this is distinct from national rolling blackouts. The utility has publicly debunked false claims about imminent severe load shedding, underlining that such scenarios are not supported by official forecasts. Ongoing challenges remain, especially around unplanned outages and distribution network issues, but Eskom's outlook for early 2026 is significantly better than past years. Together, these points show why Eskom's message for 2026 is cautiously hopeful. Positive technical progress gives South Africa a chance of avoiding widespread load shedding, but vigilance and continued improvement remain essential.